think we gave enough. 15 minutes. Unbelievable. Okay, let's get started. Ganana Antva Ganapatigum Habamaghe Kavinamupamashravasthavam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anasranvannotibhisedasadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajedhirvajinivati Dhinama Vitrayavatu Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Tachanjora Vrinimahe Gatum Yajnaya Gatum Yajnapataye Daivi Swastirastunaha Swastirmanushabhyah Vordhanjigatu Bheshajam Shanno Astu Dvipade Sham Chatushpade Om Shanti 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 Sri Sai Ishwaraya Namaha Harihi Om Agnishcha me dharmascha merkascha me suryascha me pranascha me shvamedhascha me prithvicha me ditischa me dyauscha me shakvari rangulayo dishascha me yajnena kalpantam rukcha me samacha me stomas me yajuscha me diksha me tapascha martascha me vratancha me ho ratrajogor vristya brihadradhantare cha me yajnena kalpetam garbhagascha me vatsascha me triyavishcha me Priyavicha me dityavacha me dityauhicha me panchavischa me panchavicha me trivathascha me trivathacha me turyavacha me turyauhicha me pasthavacha me pasthauhicha mabhukshacha me vashacha marshabhascha me Vehacha me nadvancha me dhenuscha ma'ayar yajnena kalpatam prano yajnena kalpatam apano yajnena kalpatam dhyano yajnena kalpatam chakshar yajnena kalpatagushratram yajnena kalpatam mano yajnena kalpatam vad yajnena kalpatam atma yajnena kalpatam yajno yajnena kalpatam om shanti 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 Om सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Let us all be together. Let us all be nourished together. Let us all work together with great vigor. May our studies shine and illumine our intellects. May we not hate each other. Let there be peace, peace, and peace. We are studying the Chamakam, transitioning from the 9th Anuvakam to the 10th Anuvakam. In the 9th Anuvakam, we were connecting to all the aspects of how the sound is produced. And this sound that is produced within is the combination of the prana, which is the breath, the vital force, and the fire within. These two together produce the sound. Agnishcha me, dharmascha me, arkascha me, suryascha me, pranascha me, ashwamedhascha me, prithvicha me, aditischa me, ditischa me, dyauscha me, shakvarirangulayotischa me, yajnena kalpantam. This kalpantam, yajnena kalpantam, all of this, may they be worthy or eligible to be offered in sacrifice. This is very important. May they be eligible to be kalpantam. All the above, multiple of them, may they be eligible to be, may they be worthy to be offered in the sacrifice. This is why I was giving the preamble about all the things about what does that mean. Eligible means when you call somebody who you love to your home for offering food, you make sure that all the ingredients, everything are proper and that they are worthy to be offered and be appreciated by someone who you call for dinner, so and so. All these things that we are talking about, the perfection in the context of all of these things is what you can understand from a relative worldly point of view. Because what we were talking about, kaya, vacha, manas, indriya, buddhi, atma, prakriti, svabhava. How many layers of what we are talking about, perfection, kaya, which is body, manas, kaya, vacha, the word, manas, the thought, indriya, the senses, buddhi, intellect, atma, the self, prakriti, its nature, svabhava, even in the context of the feeling of fullness of the self. All of this, what we're doing for Karomi, Yadyat Sakalam Parasmai. Not for this individual ego, it's for the universal love that you are doing this. Love, the Valentine, the love. This love that you're talking about, we have lost the context of being in love all the time. Therefore, we have to be reminded at least one day you appreciate somebody for what they have done for you all your life. So for mother, there is a Mother's Day. For father, there is a Father's Day. For everyone, you created one day. Mother Meera says so beautifully, सांसों की माला पे सिमरू में पी का नाम. Last night I was talking about this. सांसों की माला पे सिमरू में पी का नाम. Mala, Japamala. And this Japamala, Kabir say, Jnandev says, Japamala Antari. Japamala is Antari. It is inside. And what is this Japamala? The Japamala is Sanso ki mala. What is Sanso? Shwasa. Your breath is the mala. Because this mala is running all the time, 21,600 times. How many times? Sanso ki mala pe simru mein pi ka naam. How many times? सांसों की माला पे, 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 सिमरू में पी का नाम. When this prana, the vital force within us, is going in this meter, in a rhythm, constantly, Shekvari, Angulayo, and expanding in all directions. Now imagine what you're doing when you are chanting outside. Everything inside, the energy is actually coming outside to purify the entire directions around you. If you simply pay attention to that aspect of it, that is prana, the combination of the fire and what you are producing in the context of the air together, because this air is now put to the fire within you, became water vapor, and this water vapor is constantly emanating within you when you are chanting. Just observe that. Just if you put a glass and you are chanting, just observe how much water vapor is produced on that glass. Just observe that. How is the vapor created? It's the combination of the air and the fire that is within you. Agnischa me dharma. Dharma means this vaporization. And that is causing inner illumination. Arkascha me, Suryascha me, Pranascha me, Ashwamedhascha me, Ashwa, Saptashwaradhamarudham, Prachandam Kashyapatmajam, Sveta Padmadharam Devam, Tam Suryam Pranamamyaham. Ashwa not just doesn't mean the horse. Ashwa also means fundamentally the illumination, the ray of light, the single ray of light that is diffracted to create 7 different colors. Sapta Ashwa Ratham Arudham. Now, what we are talking about, Kashyapa, if you reverse it, Pasyaka. All of this comes in Arunam, Arunaparayanam. When you do Arunaparayanam, you will see the entire description of the illumination occurring because of the 8 different Suryas, Sapta Surya, 7 Suryas. There is one who is the Ashtama. That Ashtama is Kashyapa. One Kashyapa, if you reverse it, which is Pasyaka. Pasyaka means the one that is able to be seeing, which is unseen. That is Kashyapa, Pashyako Bhavati, this Pashyaka. Now, all this 9th Anvakam, it seems to be very, very simple and mundane from outside point of view. You dwell deep into that, you will absolutely receive this inner illumination that is associated with your own vital life force that is within you, that is coming out as sound with a meter. Then Bruhat Ratham Antara. This Ratha, this thing about right now, this is the Magha Masam, which is the most auspicious for Bhagavan Surya, and today is Sunday. This Ratha is getting pulled by what are the seven aspect here associated with the sun god, many levels of incredible sevens associated with all our existence. All of this, it is tapas, it is vrata, it is penance. सांसों की माला पे सिमरू में पी का नाम is not, doesn't happen overnight. अली नू याद करो, रल के फरियाद करो, ए गरीबा. अली मौला, अली मौला, अली दम दम, अली मौला, अली मौला, अली दम दम, लख ते करोड़ वारी अखो दम दम, अली मौला, अली मौला, अली दम दम. You see, this entire essence of what we are studying here in this Rudram and Chamakam is not simply an experience of only related to Hindu gods and Hindu rishis and sages and seers. There are so many of them that are spanning across the entire spectrum of humanity and so many faiths that they all connect to only one thing and one thing, this universal love. लखते करोड़ वारी अखो दम दम, अली मौला, अली मौला, अली दम दम. Then, if there are any questions or comments on the 9th Anvakam, we'll finish that and move on to the next Anvakam. What this 9th Anvakam is the essence of the prana, the vital force that is expressing in combination with the fire within you, which is manifested as three different things. And I have all the time mentioned what are the three aspects of this Rudra. The one who is the source is Rudra. The one that is the heat in the body and the prana is the Agni, and the one that is illumining outside and the entire cosmos as the Surya. All these three are one and the same. They are not different. They are the aspect of Rudra, Shiva.
Can you please repeat, Sekhar Garu? Rudra, sun and Pranava.
Yes, the heat in your own body, the Agni within the body.
Thank you.
The life within us. Now, Bruhat Ratha Antare, Bruhat Ratha Antare. This, there is a the context of this Bruhat Ratha Antare, Yajnena Kalpetam. Even that, may that be eligible to be or worthy to be offered for sacrifice. And how do you make it eligible for sacrifice? Dikshachame, tapaschama, ritaschame, vratanchame, ahoratrayor vristya, bruhatratantare chame, yajnena kalpetam. Any questions or comments? Are you all with me, blissed out? Are we good?
Sairam, just a thought. This is Pawan. Just a thought that connecting from last week, we discussed about Shakvari, everything running in harmony, and we connected with music of the swaras and the 7 swaras, and here you just talked about the body, Ratha, the chariot of the sun also has 7 horses. That's what. And so, what I'm trying to, what I'm connecting is the sun, Aditya's chariot, 7 horses. The Aditya in us, the sun also runs with the 7 saptaswaras in our body.
Yeah. What are all the 7? This is not just, there is the sound, the 7 swaras. I just talked about the 7 colors. What are the other 7?
Saptapadi. 7 steps. Saptapadi.
7 what?
Saptapadi. That is the 7 steps the bride and groom takes.
Oh, true. Valentine's Day remembrance today, huh? You remember your marriage. You are a true Valentine, man. Your wife very happy, Show this video inside. I remembered our wedding day today on Valentine, Saptapadi, the 7 vows that you have taken. And I won't put you on the spot on what are all the 7 vows you took. Okay, what other 7 are we connecting to? Please bring it out.
Sairam, 7 chakras.
Yeah, 1 second. Oma auntie, yes, please go ahead.
7 chakras, sir. Right from Mooladhara to
7
Sahasrara.
chakras. Oh, beautiful. Yes, 7 chakras. Yes. And what are these chakras associated with? Now that is, I wouldn't go deeper into that aspect of it, but the 7 chakras, yes. Yes, what other 7? Yes, Kumar.
Mooladharam.
Yeah, no. I'm not asking what are the 7 chakras. You have the others, any other 7 to share?
No, Sairam, auntie, Sairam sister shared the same. I wanted to say 7 chakras.
Okay, very good.
21.
Anna, Satya here. Saptarishi Mandalam in the cosmos also it is there. There's a Nakshatra Mandalam also.
Very good. Okay, Sapta Rishis, yes, 7 Rishis. And you know all the 7 of them?
Anna, honestly, no, Anna.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Anybody else? The 7.
Anna, 7 days.
7 days, yeah. 7 days. 7 days. Yeah, and here is the thing. Not Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not 7 days. What we call in the context of Bhanuvara, Indu, Bhaumya, Saumya, Bruhaspati, Bhrugu, Shani. These are the varas that are chanted during Sankalpa, not Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. I don't know what is the origin of those names associated with them, but definitely each of these days have 7 energies associated within our own self, and they manifest in the context of those particular days. And the continuum of the days that we talked about, really, how is that this day has this energy, etc. I'm not an expert in Jyotishya Shastra, but the timing associated with these are associated with the energies of those. Somavara associated with the moon, Bhanuvara associated with the sun, Bhaumyavara associated with the Kujagraham, the Buddhagraham, the Guru Graham, the Shukra Graham, and the Shani Graham. All these 7 associated with the 7 planets. Then you ask the question, what's the question that comes to you? Come on, sir, aren't there 9 planets? You are only talking about 7 planets. No, the other 2 are not planets. They're actually nodes. They are the Rahu and Ketu are nodes. The south node and the north node, they're not planets. So the 7 planets associated with the 7 days and their energies. What other 7?
Sai Ramanna, this is Sukanya, 7 horses of Surya.
Yes, what are the 7 horses of Surya related to you? That's the question we are talking about.
Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamasya.
There are only 6, Amma, thank God.
Yeah, correct. I counted. But when mind and horses, I got that.
Don't associate those evil qualities. The point is not to associate with them. Okay. So there are 6. They are called the Shad Ripus, the 6 enemies, not the 7. Okay. 7. We are talking about the.
Yeah, the 7 levels of consciousness, or 7 lokas above, 7 lokas below.
There are 14, sir. Total 14. The lokas are 14, not 7. Yes, thank you. Now bring it out, please. There's no wrong answer. Whatever 7 you connect to, bring the 7 out. Yes. Anu?
Anna, they say 7 seas.
7 seas. Yes. We only know how many. How
7.
many seas are there? Huh?
The
7 is color, rainbow.
Oh, Vibjar.
Yeah.
Vibjar. Yes. What are the colors? Yeah, the colors associated with Vibjar. Those are the colors of the 7 horses, from violet to red. Violet, indigo, blue, yellow, orange, red, VIB, green, yellow, orange, red. And this context of these colors, this transition of the colors happens in the context of what they call as the RGB, the red, blue, green. There is an incredible science associated with these wavelengths and how they are set in the context of what is the center one that separates 3 on this side, 3 on that side. If you look at these colors, the center one is green, and then you have VIB, G, YOR, and this is the transition. The YOR is more godly in nature. Arunam, Karunatarangitakshim, Dhrutapashankusha Pushpavana Chapam. The expression of the divinity starts from the red all the way to the down and the deeper. Not that violet is not divine. Hello, right now I'm wearing a blue shirt, so I don't want you to think that. Yes, blue and yellow, all this, every color is divine. Swami is wearing this beautiful blue robe today. So the context of what we are talking about is the perception of divinity. There is only one light. There is only Eka Chakra Dharan Devam, Tam Suryam Pranamam. There is a lot of depth into studying all of this. If you all have time, after this, I'm going to do Aruna Parayanam. And because today is Sunday, Mahamasam, every Sunday after the class, we'll do Aruna Parayanam. If you have bandwidth, you can stay and listen. So, and you, as you listen to these mantras, all of this is described. There are Sapta Suryas, and there is only one, the Ashtama is the Kashyapa. I went through that. Now, any other 7?
There are 7 holy cities or
7 continents.
Saptapuri.
7 continents.
Oh,
And
okay.
we have 7 holes in our body.
Only 7? Hello, excuse me, 9.
Yes, the 2
9.
ears,
9.
the nose, the 2, from the nose, the mouth, and the 2 downstairs.
7
Saptadhatuvas.
Saptadhatus, yes. 7
continents.
Yes, 7 continents, yes. Sapta, what we are trying to connect to is how they are related to us, our system, okay? What is the relationship of the 7 seas to what is happening within us, the fluids in our body? The 7 continents piece, are there 7 continents? Hello, 7 continents? I'm losing my mind now. Are there 7 continents or 5 continents?
This is 7.
What?
I think North
What?
America, South America. North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Australia.
Africa, Antarctica.
There's 2 more.
When we went to school, there were 5, but now there
No, I just
is UK a continent or not? It is no longer part of Europe. Have we created 9 now? So yeah. Yeah, there are Sapta Dvipas. There are what are called 7 islands. There are Sapta Sagaras. There are Sapta Rishis. Somebody already mentioned. There are 7 colors. There are 7 days. There are 7 main planets. There are 7 dhatus. Dhatus means the tissues. We went through those 7 tissues that are within the system. And yes, and then so fundamentally you're taking time, you're taking space, and then you're taking all those aspects, desha, kala, kalana, the existence as objectivity. All of them primarily are divided into 7 components. All of that is because the time and the space aspect is created by this incredible presence of the sun. Without the sun, there is no time. Without the sun, there is no light, which is a context of objectification or identification of objects. Without the sun, there is no space. Therefore, everything relates to this thing called the sun and the sound, the Sapta Swaras, which is the sound is basically the space. Now you're crystallizing. Now you're looking at all of this. Now there is a beautiful experience of meditation just going through this scientifically, not philosophically, not as a concept, here and now. It's not theory. It is here and now. And everything that is perceived in the context of time, space, and objectivity is illumined by the presence of this one thing called the sun. Therefore, if somebody asks you, where is God? Simply show the sun. Yes, then this sun is the context of what we are calling as Dhrini, Surya, Aditya, what we are studying in the 9th Anuvakam is the Grini aspect of it, the prana aspect of it. Yes, somebody wants to say something. And the study of the sun in Arunam, maybe there is Aruna Jnana Yajna at some point, but right now, let's just focus on the Rudra Jnana Yajna, which is the context of what we're studying now. Moving on to the 10th Anuvakam, Garbha. Starts with Garbha. Then starts with Garbha, Vatsa, Triyavi, Dityavat, Dityauhi, Panchavi, Trivatsaha, Trivatsa, Turyavat, Turyauhi, Pashtavat, Pashtauhi. Then Uksha, Vasha, Rishabha, Vehat, Anadvan, Dhenu. All these things are associated with the lifespan of a cow. Garbha is the fetus. Vatsa is newborn. Triyavihi. When in Sanskritam, then there is a vihi, it is male gender. If it is just a swara like a travi, it is female. Triyavihi means 1.5-year-old. He, male. Triyavi is 1.5-year-old. She. Dityavat, the ha or the ta indicates male gender, and the oval e or a indicates a female. This is basic fundamental Sanskritam. Dityavat means 2-year-old. So the 1.5-year-old he, 1.5-year-old she, 2-year-old he, 2-year-old she, Panchavihi, 2.5-year-old he, Panchavi, 2.5-year-old she, Trivatsaha, which is 3-year-old he, Trivatsa, 3-year-old she, Turyavat, 3.5-year-old he, Turyauhi, 3.5-year-old she. Pashtavat, 4-year-old he, Pashtauhi, 4-year-old she. That's it. Lifespan of a cow from fetus as a he or a she, going from a newborn, 1.5-year-old, 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old, 3-year-old, 3.5-year, 4-year-old. Hello. First, some questions should come into your minds, no? When you hear this, what's the first question that would come in? Anybody has any question? I just went through the first 14.
Yeah, why these specific ages of the cows?
Okay. But there is also a question before that, no?
Yes.
Why the cows?
Why cow?
I'm glad you're all listening. Have you paid attention to this when we are chanting Rudram gazillion times?
Yeah, because in Vedic times, they were
So not anymore?
No, it is, it is there, but maybe the cows, I don't know whether, sorry, I'll keep quiet. Saira.
No, you're thinking while you're talking. I love that. That's beautiful. Do the thinking internally while you're talking. Then it kind of why cow? Why the specific ages of the cow? Yes.
Sairam, it is one of the four matas. Oh.
One of the four
four mothers. Deha Mata, Gomata, Bhumata, Jaganmata. So of the four,
Desamata.
Dehamata.
One of the mothers is fine. That's the reason. But why not describe other matas? Why only this mata?
Sairam, in previous class you said Gomata means self, living mata, living life force. Is that?
Sairam, Go means senses. Is it anyway connected to senses?
Very nice.
Indriyas.
I have heard two things. Go means senses. Go also means the jiva, the individual self. Any other comments? Why cow is answered now.
But why then if it is Jiva, then what about this age that is being mentioned?
Age, yeah. I'll come to that. Okay, why these ages? Yes. we asked two questions. Why cow? Why these ages? Right? Those are the two questions.
And why only up to 4?
Why only up to 4? That's the question. Yes. Why this specific age? Yes.
4 stages. No, it is drink. It is Jagrat Avastha, 4 avasthas. It is by 4 years. Is it?
Is it related to the 4? The 4 avasthas. Yeah. Jagra, Swapna, Sushupti, Turiya. But there are actually no 4. There is only 1. The Turiya means the 4th one, other than the other 3. So that's interesting observation. But I would yes, somebody mom.
Shekhar Garu, the 4 up to 4 years is the milestones of a human being. They are not independent before that. Sitting, standing, walking, motor movements, maturity happens till age 4 and 4 to 5. And that's when they become, whereas other jivas, the moment they are born, they are independent to some degree. The fish can swim and animals can walk, whereas human being, the brain does not mature up to that point.
I have to ask my daughter, who is a pediatrician, if that is true. But since you are a doctor, I think that makes sense to me. I don't know till what age a pediatrician is supposed to take care of. What is the is there an age group when the pediatrician's job is done?
Usually, in this country, they treat up to age 16 to 18. The frontal lobe matures only in the early 20s. That's why the voting rights is given after 21. Drinking age is 18 and above. Till then, they're impulsive. The teenagers are impulsive. The frontal brain grows after early 20s. That's when they grow. But the milestones, physical milestones, happen till age 4. That's what I take out of this. And also for Gomata, the 4 dharmas, the dharma stands on 4 legs. That's what I remember you telling us in the past. Okay, thank you.
Nice job, Sujata Garu. Okay. Anybody else has any perspective?
Is it related to the 4 stages of a human being, like Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha?
Those apply at all stages of life. But here specifically we're talking about the ages associated with this cow, whether it is a he or a she. So both are covered. See, this is equal opportunity employment in Vedas. We never ignored the female side of it, as they say it. even in Veda mantras, they're very clearly describing it is a newborn, 1.5-year-old, 1.5-year-old, he and a she. Trivatshachame, trivatshachame. Now what we're talking about, let's look at the mantra. Garbhagaschame, vatsaschame, triyavischame, triyavichame, dityavachame, dityauhichame, panchavischame, panchavichame, trivatsaschame, trivatsachame, turyavachame, turyauhichame, pasthavachame, pastauhichama. That's where we are pausing.
Why there are half year, like 1.5, 2.5? Why it is counted? Why not 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Everything in the Veda mantras, finally, it will be relating to something within the body itself, isn't it? A body means a body mind, the soul mind body complex. So it has to be something related to that.
Yeah. So many questions. Okay. Let's. Any other questions, comments?
No. Why from newborn directly to 1.5?
What happened to the first year celebration?
Going half a year after that, but directly from newborn to 1.5.
We usually celebrate first year birthday big time. What is this? They're skipping to 1.5-year-old. Yes. Yeah.
I think if we can understand the life cycle of a cow, maybe we'll understand better. So I don't know.
Life cycle of a cow. Why we're not talking about just studying a cow here. We are actually studying the context of what we are calling as the senses maturity and the context of the life force that is here referred to as tejas. The first one is prana. Now we are talking about tejas. What is received in the context into the garbha, the fetus. When there is certain stages of when even the fetus has been received through conception, there are samskaras that is done to the tejas, which is the representation of this tejas, what we're referring to here as the go is the tejas. And this tejas is expressed in the context of development, in the context of senses, and development in the context of the sense of the internal aspect of what we are calling as the body, the senses, and the internal life force. And in this development pattern of this senses and the life force, each individual has the feminine and the masculine forces within them. The gender, as we talking as the physical gender, is not just associated with the body. There are emotions that are feminine, there are emotions that are masculine, there are feelings, there are gunas, there are all these aspects. The full expression of this tejas is not just male, not just female. Both are existing and expressing. There is a female within me in the context of my presence, and there is a male within me. There is a male within the female, there is a female within the male. This is the Shiva, the Shakti that we're talking about, the Tejas, Champeya Gaurardha Sharirakaya, Karpura Gaurardha Sharirakaya, Dhammillakaya cha Jatadharaya, Namah Shivaya cha Namah Shivaya. This Ardhanarishwari that we're talking about is expression of the male and the female within us. And this expression as the Tejas, and this Tejas is what is referred to as the go, the cow. When the samskaras are done to this body as the Tejas, it is done. The samskara, there is a semantam associated with what we call as baby shower. But that is actually a spiritual samskara, the cultivation of the Tejas within us. And this cultivation, the end of culture is perfection. This culture, this receipt of the fetus within, this is referred to in the Veda mantras. Brother brought up Saptapadi. Vivaha, or even the context of what we are calling as a marriage, as the Vivaha. It is supreme giving. And when these two come together, there is a description of all of this in Arunam. Again, when we go to Arunam, I have to come to Aruna Parayanam. How this reception of the Tejas, the illumination as the body, the mind, the senses complex, which is the life force within us, and that is what is referred to as Gayatri Mantra. And this Gayatri that we're talking about is the Tejas, the life force. What are we saying when we're chanting the Gayatri Mantra? That divine, resplendent effulgence, the life sustaining force, pervading the gross, the subtle, and the causal, may that illumine my intellect. This is the Gayatri Mantra. Gaya here refers to not just the senses. Gaya refers to what is the total complex of life force that is within us, and the protection of that life force, trayate gayantam iti gayatri. That which protects that life force, the Tejas within us, that is Gayatri. And this expression starts right from the conception process of receipt in the womb and the newborn. This 1.5, the division as in starting with 1.5, completing by 4. This is when this Tejas is truly nurtured. And this 4 years of the first 4 years of the age of the human brain in development is the most important foundation in nutrition and wellness. And this half-year intervals that you're seeing, what we're talking about, is associated with the span of the Paksha, the 6-month span of the Pakshas. That means Every 6-month period during the development is the most critical phase of development of the stages within the individual. After that foundation is laid, the stages is handed over to the Guru in Gurukula, so that the next stage of development happens without the impositions of the attachments and the emotions associated with that. A true development happens from the age 5-year-old. That's where the Gayatri mantra is given to the individual to receive the stages.
Shekhar Garu, doesn't the Tejas enter the womb from the time the baby is conceived? So even the fetus life should be considered.
Yes,
in that.
That's why I'm calling as samskaras. Yes, not just, it starts with the process of marriage first, not even that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The fundamental place where it starts is that. That's why it's called vivaham. It's a vivaham. I don't know what the word wedding really stands for, but definitely the word vivaham has something more profound associated with it.
Can you explain that, please? What vivaham means?
Vivaham means a supreme, special offering. What is being offered is a kshetra to the companion to take care of this kshetra, the field that's now so important in the context of the society. And therefore, this guy has to make the 7 vows to take care of this kshetra in the presence of the witness of the fire. Nothing else matters. The rest of the drama is for people to eat and party and all of that stuff. But this, we have never paid attention to the sacredness of this whole process. And if you truly understood what we are saying in those mantras, now I don't want to become a Chaganti Kotesra or somebody like that. You can listen all those things from the descriptions by the Pravachana Kartas. But my point is this context of eligibility of the kshetra and how it comes into picture. Garbhaschame, Vatsaschame. Triyavischame, Triyavichame, Dityavachame, Dityau hichame, Panchavischame, Panchavichame, Trivatsaschame, Trivatsachame, Turyavachame, Turyau hichame, Pashtavachame, Pashtau hichama. Now we will study next week all the next stage of life associated with this jiva. Let's close with yes. Anybody has question? Yes, Sairam.
Yes, Shekhar Garu, I have one question. In the 9th Anuvaka, if we said Yajna Kalpetam, that is resolved and dissolved in the Yajna, why do we need 10th Anuvaka, 11th Anuvaka, or anything else? Aren't we done with that?
No, there is no dissolution in where is what I don't know if I maybe misspoke, but where is the dissolution in what Yajna? What are you talking 9th Anuvaka?
I thought last time you said Yajna Kalpetam, we are resolve and dissolve ourselves in the Yajna totally. We are offering ourselves totally.
No. I think what we were saying was in the context of the 9th Anuvakam, Yajnena Kalpantam or Yajnena Kalpetam means may all the above be worthy of offering and sacrifice. That means perfection. There is no dissolution. Yajna is sacrifice. May something be worthy of being sacrificed is what kalpantam or kalpetam means.
Okay. Thank
Don't
you.
dissolve it.
Okay. Thank you for
Yeah.
clarifying. That's when I thought, okay, when we have dissolved totally, why do we need 10th or 11th or anything more beyond this?
We're
Okay.
not, there
Thank
is
you.
no Yajna is not dissolution.
Okay.
Yajna is vigilance,
Okay.
sacrifice.
Thank you.
Yes.
What happens in every 6 months? Because it says 1.5, 2, 2.5. So there is something connected with the 6 months timing, and something happens in that 6 months timing. What are those?
Sir, if I can, again, I don't know if there is a pediatrician on this call or in this satsang. What we are talking in the development of that individual in that 4 years, every 6, like what do they say? Every day matters in the development. There is so much of programming is happening. If you really look at it, the rapid phase of growth, and actually when it's interesting now that I am a grandfather, I noticed that I didn't notice that with my kids. But every month is so amazing growth in this child that is unbelievable. I mean, it's like, wow, just in 15 days, all of this happened. And you know, I don't know if you're a grandfather yet, but when you're a grandfather, you will be able to observe without any attachment because you don't need to take care of them. When you're a parent, you're like constantly, oh my God, when do these kids really grow up? But when you're a grandfather, you say, oh my God, they're growing too fast. Let's slow down, buddy. Don't grow too fast. Are you a grandfather, Pad?
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right. All right, so the context of half age is really referring to every paksham, right? As I said, you understand the two context of the half, how the time is divided in half, right? The month is divided into halves.
Yeah, the yearly time. Uttarayana and Dakshinayana.
Yeah, yes. And similarly, there is a division in the context of day. There is a division in the context of month.
Yes, Shukla Paksham.
Krishna Paksham, yes. And what is the division of the day?
Morning and, day and night.
Yeah. So that's the half represents. Now, the half also is representing the male and the female, no?
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that there is also the half in the context of time? There is also half in the context of gender,
yes.
The male and the female. So the development is happening with both of those aspects, not just one aspect.
Okay.
Yes. Anybody else has any questions?
One thing, brother, because you said about vivaham, Swami says, the presence of God is most in a person's life. Is it half an hour or during the marriage ceremony? The presence of God is so much during the birth, when the baby is born, then during marriage and during death time. Something like that, Swami says. Do you know about that, brother? Can you say that?
There are 52 stages of an individual. There are 52 samskaras that happen in an individual's life. Not one. We only connect to the birth, the marriage, and the death because these three are the most significant in our lives. But there are 52 different stages in samskaras.
Okay, thank you. Now, Swami specifically says about these three. So I was just asking whether you...
No, because Swami is very kind. He doesn't want you to get. He's very loving and kind. He doesn't want you to get intimidated. If suddenly somebody said there are 52 different stages of your life, then you are like, just if you want to hear a few, there are primarily 8 that are done, because there is a 60th year is an important, there are milestones, 52 different milestones in an individual's life. And each milestone you pay attention to the divinity aspect of those milestones without paying attention to only the birth. And the other milestone is when you stop laughing, it's called husband, that is marriage. And then the third, when you die.
Thank you.
Yes. So we have to pay, here's the thing, apart from all this intellectual information, the most important thing is about the constant vigil, is what we are calling as yajna, in thought, word, and action. And associated with these things, how is this information enabling transformation? If we lost focus on that, this information gathering becomes a burden. Knowledge is a burden if it is not reduced to practice. Knowledge, information is a burden. It's like a donkey carrying sandalwood on its back without the ability to smell what it is carrying. It's like a bookkeeper in a library who can tell where every book is present and what is the edition number, who printed it, etc. But it has no value, period, to that individual because he doesn't connect to the information for transformation. So I'm not saying you should not pay attention to the detail, but this attention to the detail is a constant vigil towards the perfection of offering in sacrifice for universal love. And that is what is called yajna. Because I don't know if you have joined the other sessions. I'm seeing you for the first time. So this is, we can't lose that perspective and only get entangled in this information piece. Are we all clear? Then it becomes a dogma, then it becomes a religion, then it becomes a faith, then it becomes an identity, and that identity associated with every one of these things called the dogmas, the religions, the faiths, the gurus, this and that stifles your ability to have the vigil. Do not get carried away by all of that stuff, including the miracles. Pay attention to this constant miracle that is happening within us with every breath that is sustaining the life force within us, and how life is getting manifested within us. Within us, how this life is getting manifested within us. This 4 years of life that we are talking about, you are constantly conceiving. You are an infant, you are growing with every 6 months of turn in your own life. If you paid attention to that, are we making sure that we are paying attention to the thought, the word, and the deed that is emanating, that's being born, that's growing, that's dying? How is that thought, word, and action being sanctified in the word of it, which is primarily to ask the question, being eligible to be perfect in the context of universal love, and that is the Valentine. That is what we're studying. Is that too intense? Sorry. You may not come for the next session. Deepa ji.
It's so beautifully explained. I mean, everything, it has to be connected to the thought, word, and deed and the universal love. So whenever I have been chanting Rudra, I always think, I initially thought, why am I chanting it like a tape recorder? Because I didn't know the meaning of it. And then Brother Vednaran said, you learn it, sister, and then, the meaning will become clear to you. And slowly, I can see Swami teaching me Sanskrit, and just like you said, brother, that is the, it is the universal love that all these things have to lead to. Thank you. So much making sense. Thank you, Saira.
Okay, let's close with Samasta Lokas, and it's 22 minutes over. I started 15 minutes late. Apologies for that. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम्
समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु 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 समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो
भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Sairam for those of you who are able to stay. We will do the Rudra Parayanam. Thank you. Sorry.